In the heart of Jerusalem, the temple courtyard was alive with activity. Merchants called out their wares, pilgrims prayed at the gates, and teachers debated the finer points of the law. The air buzzed with tension as people hurried about, their footsteps echoing on the stone pavement. Into this bustling scene, a sudden commotion arose. A group of Pharisees and scribes, dressed in flowing robes, strode purposefully through the crowd. Between them, they dragged a disheveled woman. Her hair was tangled, her clothes torn, and her face streaked with tears. Whispers spread like wildfire through the onlookers as people turned to watch the unfolding drama. The Pharisees brought the woman to the center of the courtyard, where Jesus was teaching a group of listeners. They thrust her forward, and she stumbled, falling to her knees. Her eyes darted around, filled with fear and shame. One of the Pharisees, his voice sharp with accusation, declared, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. In the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. What do you say?" The crowd murmured, their eyes shifting between Jesus and the woman. The tension was palpable. The Pharisees and scribes leaned in, eager to see how Jesus would respond to their challenge. Jesus, sitting calmly on the ground, appeared unfazed by the uproar. Without saying a word, he bent down and began to write in the dust with his finger. The crowd fell silent, craning their necks to see what he was writing, but his words were obscured. The Pharisees, impatient and determined to provoke him, pressed him further. "What do you say, teacher?" one of them demanded, his tone edged with triumph. Slowly, Jesus straightened up. His gaze swept over the Pharisees, the scribes, and the crowd, piercing through their self-righteousness. With a calm but authoritative voice, he said, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." The crowd held its breath. The Pharisees, who moments ago had been so confident, now shifted uncomfortably. Jesus knelt again and resumed writing in the dust. One by one, the Pharisees and scribes began to lower their eyes. The oldest among them, perhaps more aware of his own flaws, was the first to step back. Then another. And another. The sound of sandals scuffing on stone marked their retreat as they slipped away, leaving behind their accusations and their stones. The crowd, still hushed, watched as the accusers disappeared into the bustling city streets. When the last of them had gone, Jesus rose and turned his attention to the woman, who still knelt in the dust, trembling. His voice was gentle as he asked, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" The woman lifted her tear-streaked face and looked around, realizing she was alone with Jesus. Her voice, choked with emotion, replied, "No one, sir." Jesus smiled warmly, his words filled with mercy and hope. "Then neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." The woman rose slowly, her movements hesitant but filled with a growing sense of relief. She wiped her face and straightened her posture, her burden of guilt replaced by a profound sense of grace. She walked away, her steps lighter than they had been in years, carrying with her a newfound hope for a life renewed. As the woman disappeared into the crowd, Jesus remained in the temple courtyard, his presence radiating calm and authority. The crowd lingered, their hearts stirred by what they had witnessed. The lesson was clear: true righteousness is not about condemnation but about mercy, forgiveness, and transformation.